That makes me remember one skit I saw where the man was actually showering in the bathroom. So a call came and the wife wanted, honey, should I pick up the call? He came out with the phone and actually slipped on the floor and fell. Hi guys, welcome to another interesting show on Friday like we promised. Today is Friday and we have our special guest on Sec with us. Not just that, we have another special guest on top of the special guest, right? This is Think Tank TV. My name is Moses Waribo. We're going to be talking about relationships today. And we're going to be talking about red flags in relationship. We're going to bring on Sect the guest we have here. We have Sister Mercy Chepaka. We have Mr. Bomahat, and we're going to be doing justice to the topic. If you're new to the channel, ensure you do well to click the subscribe button, do us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing, and also give us a comment telling us what you'd like us to add to the show. Thank you so much for coming to the show today, Sister Mercy Chepaka and Mr. Bomahat. So today we're talking about red flags, like we promised the last time, and this show is going to be holding Friday, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Messi will be here with us. So let's talk about red flags in relationship. And we have the relationship guru and Mr. Boma here. Can you tell our viewers how red flags works? What is red flags in relationships? Why do we need to know about red flags in relationship? Over to you, Madam Messi.
Okay. First of all, we'll start by defining what red flags are.
Yeah.
Red flags are from the word red. It shows it's a danger. You know, when you want to cross the traffic, you see the red, you see the green, you see the yellow. So the red flag, the red says you should do what? Stop. So the word red flag is gotten from that description. So red flags are danger signals or danger signs that shows toxicity in any relationship.
Wow. Okay, Mr. Boma, you have anything to say about red flags?
Actually, red flags are, like she said, they are quite dangerous. They are dangerous character, and when you see them, you just have to stop. Like she said, you just have to stop. And in HSC, we say you take 5 steps backward, and you have to review the whole thing again. If it is something you need to move forward, or you just have to stop automatically and never have to continue the journey.
Okay, so can we go to say red flags are showstoppers? Right?
Yes.
Showstoppers.
Exactly.
If there's anything that should stop the show, put a hold to the show,
Yeah.
It's a red
flag, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So why should people know about red flags in a relationship?
Okay, people should really know about red flags, because if these red flags are not known, awareness is key. It can disrupt any relationship. It can cause the death of a relationship. It can cause even the death of the individuals in the relationship.
Yeah.
It can break down people in relationship. It can destroy. Something that is dangerous does what? Destroy.
Exactly.
So it can destroy the persons in the relationship physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, and otherwise. So it's very important and expedient that we know what these red flags are and we stop, so we don't go into toxic relationships that can be mentally damaging to us as individuals.
Okay, so we should know them and we should stop. That means that the red flag does not apply to marriages. We're talking about courtship and relationships now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the red flags a person should be checking out for in a relationship? Say we talk about red flags, why we should grab. What are the things? Can we know what the red flags are? Our viewers want to know. What are the things I should see for me to know that this is a showstopper? Let them know what it is.
Okay, for me, I would like to, some of the things that I think are showstoppers. When you're in a relationship, you ought to be yourself. You ought to be yourself. And when somebody is trying to be over controlling towards you, I think you have to look at it again. I believe when you're going to that relationship, you own yourself. You have a dream. You have what you want to be, have what you want to become. And going into a relationship that you start acting the way, contrary to who you are, and somebody has to tell you when to go out, how to go out, where to go, where not to go, and all those things. You have to review it actually. You don't go into a relationship losing yourself, no. you go into a relationship becoming better who you already are.
Okay.
These are some of the and the red flags. And if somebody is displaying lack of trust, it's also a red flag. Somebody's calling you, are you sure you're in that place? Do a video call, let me see. All those stuff. Another red flag is when somebody's not listening to you. You're talking, you're trying to communicate with this person, and the person is not listening to you. It's also a red flag. That means when you go into marriage with this person, you will also not be listening to you. I tell you something, you get ×2 of what you get in marriage. You get ×2 of what you get in your courtship. So if the person is not listening when you get to marriage, he will not listen ×2. So it's dangerous. So there are several. I think Mercy can also share some.
Okay, some of the red flags also, to add to what he has said, are persons who exhibit aggressive behaviors.
Yeah.
Persons that are overly aggressive. You're talking to them, they are shouting at you, they are hitting you. What are we getting? Physical abuse. From the aggression, we are getting to physical abuse. People that are very temperamental, they cannot control their temper. You want to check, because once you get into that relationship, you will now have instances of domestic violence once you get married. So this person is aggressive, this person is shouting at you, you don't just go. It's a red flag. Also, someone that is overly jealous and possessive. Now, some persons will say, he loves me, or she loves me, she's so protective of me, she's so jealousy. We have healthy jealousy, and we have jealousy that is very dangerous. But you see that when the person becomes overly possessive, where you go out, they want to know who you're with, they want to know who you're calling, they want to check your phone, they want to follow you there, they want to trail you, they just want you. If you tell them you want to go out, they will tell you, if I don't go. Some will get to the extent where they want to follow you on that. So overly possessiveness and controlling behavior, like he said, these are some of the signs of red flag. Another red flag we'll see is someone that doesn't water your growth. This person is jealous, not just of the relationship, but also jealous of you. There are some persons will ask, can a partner be jealous of their partner? Yes. You get into a relationship, this person wants you, but don't want you to grow above them.
Wow.
Yes. For instance, if we have an alpha male, a real genuine alpha male will want to get an alpha female. Somebody that can meet him tempo by tempo, like this is my purpose partner. But when you see a red flag where an alpha male is looking for a better female, or somebody that is even very low, you know that there is danger. So he will not support you, or she will not support you to grow. So you get into this relationship, your dream is already shattered because you can't grow further than that person. So you want to also check that one.
Okay, so when you talk about
a whole lot of
Can I
them.
just throw in one?
Yeah.
Okay.
When you're going to a relationship, have you heard of substance abuse?
Good.
Do you know that there are people that goes into a relationship, they are okay? I'll give you some of the celebrities. Whitney Houston, for instance.
Exactly.
I told you something the other day. 2 different men can bring out 2 different women out of one woman. The way I would treat a woman is not the way you're going to treat her. And the way you're going to package her is not the way I'm going to package her. So you have to be careful. Whitney Houston became a drug addict because of the kind of man she follows. Substance abuse, check them when they're abusing substance. Drug men, all those things. Be careful, those are red flags. If you don't watch them, you end up abusing substance just the way they are doing. Do not be deceived. Evil communication, corrupt good mind.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's a great one, but it's also good for us to identify that red flags can also come from women or from men. It's not a one-sided thing,
Exactly.
right? So people should take note of that as well. And so let's go straight to the tools. What are the tools we should be using to identify red flags, right? You want to know that there are red flags, but you want to know how to identify the red flags. What are the tools we should use? Because I know that, and I feel that obviously one of the major tools you should be looking at is communication, right? You should be able to communicate with the person, to discuss with the person, to know what the person's likes are and what the person's dislikes are, because there are relationships where people will just go into without proper communication. So what are other tools that can be used to harness red flag or to identify red flags in a relationship, if you get me?
Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, okay.
okay, go ahead.
All right, some of the tools we can use to identify red flags. from the one you said,
communication
is a big tool.
Yeah.
You want to talk. If you don't talk, you will not be able to find out things. Second tool is the tool of questioning. Aside the communication, you can be communicating, you're not asking questions. So you want to ask intelligent, deep questions. There are some persons that are very scared treading some certain areas in relationship, like you don't know what to, and let me not ask him this one so he will not feel bad. Let me not ask her this one, let it not be that I'm being too I'm intruding too much. Hello, this is somebody you want to spend the rest of your life with. So you want to ask those intelligent, deep questions. Go into those areas. See, if you cannot communicate effectively with someone, do not marry them. Because marriage, you have to communicate. Now, when you are asking those questions, you're going to find out a whole lot of things. So
I also heard from Creflo Dollar some time ago where he was saying that before you actually get married to a person, you should be able to ask 1,000 questions and more. He said, ask her, the hair you're putting on, is it your own? The hair you're putting on, have you completely paid for it?
exactly.
Questions that seem very, very,
Very
stupid, but
Exactly.
it's important.
But they are very revealing.
Are you into debt?
Good.
Because obviously when you go into a relationship, a serious relationship with somebody that is into debt, automatically you inherit
You
the
will
debt.
inherit it.
Just like as you are inheriting the asset, you're also inheriting the liabilities.
Exactly.
Do you like sex? What kind of how often do you like sex? There are questions that should be asked,
Exactly.
right? So these are areas that
Observational tools too.
Yeah.
Aside the asking of the question, somebody might be giving you answers that are not matching up, they are not adding up.
Okay, so you have to
want to
align
also,
them.
Yes, you
Exactly.
want to also observe
Yeah.
to see whether this thing this person is telling you, if they are true or not. So you have to really heighten your observational skills into making sure that 1 + 1 this person told you is actually 2.
Yeah.
It's not 1 + 1 equals to 4.
Okay, let's look at this. There's a real life story I want to talk about. I know of a lady who was in a relationship for quite some time with a guy, and at some point we only heard of it when the relationship had broken. She was bitterly complaining that she was in a relationship with the guy for about 8 months or thereabout. The guy was quite serious with her, like she thought. He went ahead to tell her they're going to get married. He gave her money to get a house. She rented a house. According to her, he works offshore, and he normally spends 2 weeks offshore and 2 weeks onshore. So whenever he's onshore, like she claimed, he spent some time with her. He will spend 1 week with her sometimes. Then he will tell her he wants to travel to the village to meet his parents and all that. So she never knew that the guy was a married man. She was in that relationship for so long without knowing that the man was a married man. So we're treating red flags today. Can we look at red flags that a person can see, maybe female or male, to know whether you're dating a married person? Because there are people who gallivant, they are not married, meanwhile they are married. What are the red flags that a person should be checking out for in a man or a woman to know, is this person really married, and how can somebody go about it?
Okay, let me say something on that. Number one, let us look when what they have is a serious relationship, like you said.
Yeah.
When serious relationships are involved, number one, in Africa, especially in Nigeria, marriages are not done by individuals, they are done by families. And if a man or a woman says we are taking this serious, I think we should know our families. So you have stayed in that relationship for 8 months, like you said, and you've not known any member of the family, you don't know anything about him. Something is also wrong with you. Perhaps she was carried away by his financial status. He was providing so much for her that she forgot to ask the vital questions.
Okay, that sounds like maybe a green flag for her.
Yes. Some persons, the money is a green flag.
It's a green flag.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's a green flag that covers the entire
Yeah.
You
thing,
didn't
which
ask the
is
vital
wrong.
questions, like she said. You would have asked those questions. By the time you start asking those questions, what about question is they pave ways. One answer will give you room for
Link
another.
to another.
And why didn't you ask? Are you greedy that you have dated him for 8 years? No family member, you've not seen any of them. Are you praying that you don't have family members? So sometimes it is our greed that covers our eyes, that we don't ask certain questions or we don't see certain things. Like you said, green flag, for instance, maybe it covered her eyes, she didn't see red flags.
Yeah,
So sometimes it might be greed that has covered your eyes so far and you're not seeing what you ought to see.
So you should also, we're saying that despite the benefits that you find in a relationship, you should not let that be cloud your mind.
Exactly.
To see the red flags that are obvious in the relationship.
Yeah.
Because she was enjoying herself, I think.
Yes, she wasn't really finding out nothing.
Nothing.
She was just enjoying herself and going with the flow.
Okay, so what about a situation where you're in a relationship with a man who, for instance, is an armed robber, an assassin, or whatever? He goes out to do his deals and still claims to you that he does a legitimate job. What are the things you should be checking out? Or sometimes you'll be dating a lady who is a prostitute. She travels, I'm going to school. She goes to a different town and begins to hustle, right? And at the end of the day, she's coming back with so much money. You don't even know where the source of the money is. Well, what are the things you should be looking at to know whether the person we are dating is actually a person who is not into dirty deals or something that could actually tarnish our image if we go ahead to get the person to get the person married?
In trying to know who you want to get married to, you really need to calm down. First of all, do not rush into this thing, and then take time to study your partner to know. Every person will display behavioral characteristics with time. But the thing is that we do not take cognizance of these behavioral signals that are signaling to the in-depth of this person.
Yeah.
So somebody that is a prostitute or somebody that is an armed robber, the person is living with you. The person will be carrying out some characters around you, but you're not taking cognizance of it. Yeah. For instance, a call comes. This person sneaks outside to pick those calls. You want to check. Why is your partner not being very open and transparent or being very free around you? This person has some rooms that they don't allow you to go into. This person locks some places and all that in the house. This person doesn't allow you to even get close to their phone. For instance, their phone is here. As you want to near, you see them just jump. There is something there. I'm like, honey, why are you just jumping? I've not even touched the phone. I just
that makes me remember one skit I saw where the man was actually showering in the bathroom. So a call came and the wife wanted, honey, should I pick up the call? He came out with the phone and actually slipped on the floor and fell.
he said, honey, please. And you see them just rejecting. You know there is something there. Yeah. They have this particular drawer. You are sweeping, for instance. You just get close. Honey, did you touch it? You just know there is something there. But we do not take cognizance of those things. So they will be exhibiting this. They want to make phone call. They just leave the room. You're talking. You're having fun. A call comes. You see their facial expression have changed, and they just say, excuse me. They leave the room, and you're hearing them doing sure. It's
a red flag.
It's a red flag. Maybe they are making runs and all that. So you really want to. Somebody that is not transparent with you, that is not open to you, has a lot to hide.
Wow.
Be very observant.
Let me also make one point.
So you just try and wrap up already because we are working.
Yes,
here.
you must look at also the person's financial inflow and outflow.
Okay.
For instance, if I'm earning 200,000 naira, for instance, and you're seeing me buying a car, you're seeing me, I'm going on holiday trips, the kind of shoes, clothes that I'm putting on. Come on.
It's not aligning
It's
with
not
the salary.
It's not aligning. You must. There's something
That's your
fishy.
red flag,
Yes.
There's something fishy, and you know that this is the only source of income I have.
You're driving a Rolls Royce when your salary is 200,000.
What's
You
happening
don't
here?
understand. How did you get it?
What's happening? So those are also red flags. Those
Exactly.
The person's financial inflow and outflow is a way to check the person. If the person is a sincere
But some
person.
ladies, when they see, they say, praise thy Lord, this is a green flag. The man is making the money.
Exactly.
But they don't want to find out.
Exactly. So thank you so much for this contribution. So on a closing note, we want to ask you one question has to do with life. We'd like to know, we're talking about red flags, relationship, one major thing a person should check out for to know the person is in the right place. Do we have anything particularly that you think it's major in terms of identifying whether you're with the right person or not? Just one word.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, you want to know if you're with the right person, I would check for peace factor.
Exactly.
The peace factor. If your peace is disrupted with this person, don't go ahead. No matter what this person does, they buy everything, do everything, but you don't have peace. It's a red flag. Don't just go ahead with that relationship.
So I'll throw one question to you. In few words, can you tell us what your definition of true love is? Maybe somebody may be listening to you.
True love for me, I'm defining it as
yes, from your definition, yes.
as a man now.
Yeah. Okay.
For me, true love is respect.
Good.
If you respect me, you love me. That's how I interpret true love.
Wow.
So I believe when we respect one another in relationship, I respect her, she respects me. That is true love for me.
Wow, interesting. So if you, as you've heard it from them. These are red flags you should be identifying in a relationship for you to know whether it's a showstopper or you should hit the accelerator button. We're going to be bringing this program to you every Friday, and you should be sure that we're going to be treating anything that has to do with relationship. We have Madam Mercy here. We know you have a show, right, coming up. Can you tell the viewers about your show again?
Okay.
Yes.
I have a relationship show called Ask Mercy Frank Talk Show. This week is coming up on the 5th of June, which is on Sunday at Assemblies of God, New Road, the church close to the mosque. Please, you're all invited to be there. And also follow me up on Facebook, Mercy Chepaka, every Wednesday on Ask Mercy, where you're free to ask your relationship and career questions and you get answers.
Wow, so you've heard it. We're going to be having her every Friday here. We're going to be discussing relationship issues, anything that has to do bother around relationship, and she's going to be anchoring here for us every Friday. You don't want to miss it. This is Think Tank TV. If you're new to the station, do well to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and do a comment to us telling us the topics you'd like us to discuss. And thank you so much for watching.